Who's going to be the face of the NBA in the next 10 years? I'm going to give you Ja, Luka, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball.
It'll be between LaMelo Ball and Ja. If LaMelo Ball can get to La La Land, because I think he's built for that.
Yes.
Like, he has that personality, that moxie. Like, he's built for that. I think he can be that face.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another edition of Club Shay Shay. I am your host, Shannon Sharpe. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay, and the guy that's stopping by for conversation and a drink today is a 7-time All-Star, a 7-time All-NBA selection, a 2-time scoring champ, a gold medalist, Hall of Famer. His government name is Tracy McGrady. We all know him as T-Mac. T-Mac, what's up, bro?
I'm good, brother. It's a pleasure to be on your platform.
Man, thanks for coming on today. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. You know, been retired for about 9-10 years now. 4 kids, married. I'm loving life, bro. And what's crazy is I'm more busier now than when I was actually playing ball.
Yeah, with kids, of course you're going to be more busy.
Listen, I'm being pulled every weekend, whether it's volleyball, it's my son's AAU basketball. I'm all over the place. Every weekend, I am gone.
So what's the ages?
So I have a daughter at the University of Miami right now. This is her freshman year.
Okay.
She's the oldest. My youngest is 12. So I got 19, 16, 14, and 13.
Okay.
2 boys, 2 girls.
Oh, that's great. Congratulations. First, let me congratulate you on your business venture. You started a league. It's called OBL, One's Basketball League. First, let me ask you, what made you decide to start your own league and why this format?
Well, I think, you know, when you look at the landscape of sports, we have 3-on-3. You talk about UFC, where it's one-on-one fighting. You talk about tennis, you know, 2 people going at it. But in the sport of basketball, we don't have one-on-one.
Right.
I mean, we have underground leagues,
right,
but we don't have a major platform to identify. There's a lot of untapped talent out here. Everybody can't make it to the NBA.
Right.
Everybody can't get that call to go and play overseas and make $100,000, to $500,000. So I wanted to give guys an opportunity here in the States, give them that platform. And some of these guys, probably had something to along their journey where they deviated off the course,
right,
made a left turn, and things happened. They were teenagers and they didn't get the opportunity to their dream. I want to offer that dream. So I'm looking to create stars, tell their stories, and take this thing global.
Do you think one of these guys, because obviously one-on-one, and the thing with the NBA is that all the really great players are all really exceptional one-on-one players. Do you think your platform will allow some of the guys to get a look, even if they don't have college eligibility?
So I don't want NBA players.
Okay.
I mean, I don't want NBA players.
You don't want retired NBA guys? No retired NBA guys?
No.
Okay.
No, Shay Sharpe. There are some guys on the block right now.
Right.
Give the elite NBA players the business in the game of one-on-one.
Really?
Right? What? Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen. I've seen some of these guys, Shay.
Right.
And these guys can go, man. There's a lot of underground leagues that are out here. People just don't know about it.
Right.
I want to give them a platform. I'm telling you, there are Kyries out here. There are James Hardens out here. KD, they're out here.
Right.
I've seen them.
Wow. The league, the ages are from 18 and up. The games are going to start in Atlanta, Chicago, New York, DMV, LA, the Bay Areas, with the finals in Vegas. Now, you're going to have 3 winners from each city, correct?
Yes, sir.
Those 3 guys in each city advance to Vegas.
Yes, sir.
You win $10,000 for each city.
The winner of each city will win $10,000. So there's 32 participants in each city that we're inviting.
So you're only taking one for each city?
No. We're taking three.
Okay.
But I'm saying the number one winner is going to win the pot.
Okay.
For that region.
Okay. And then you go to Vegas.
So all 21 players, they're going to Vegas.
Okay.
And that's where we're going to crown the king, the ruler of the court, for $250,000.
So the winner gets $250, the other 20. Bro, y'all had a good run, but it's up.
Hey, man, come back, try it again next year, bro. but I look at this, this platform. I kind of, want to get to where UFC is at. Right.
Okay.
Like who were the UFC fighters before they got on that platform?
Correct.
And then they became this character and became, a big household name. That's what I want to do for these guys and for the one-on-one league. That's exactly what I want to do.
T-Mac, I don't know. We used to have a game. We called it 11 or we call it 21. You're on no team. And you grabbed the ball, and everybody had to play defense. You tried to score on everybody, and the winner, you felt like you really accomplished something. Because sometimes you got a guy that's way taller than you, way older than you, guarding you, and the first one to 11 or the first one to 21, man, you felt like you accomplished something.
Man, absolutely. So here's what I don't want to happen, though, Shay. I don't want to have a 5'10" guy going up against a 6'10" guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of lopsided because the 6'10" guy, all he got to do is just back the guy down and then, get an easy bucket. So going through the first season, we're going to have to try to watch out for that. Right. But here's what the ideal of one-on-one, what I want to bring to the people. I want to break it into a height class.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Wrestling have weight classes. I want to do height classes. So you got your 6'3" and under. Right. And then you got your 6'4", the 6'7" class. Right. So I want it to be evened out. I don't want this to be a gimmick. Right. And then if, in those classes, where there's a 6'3" guy who's the champion and there's a 6'10" guy and the fans want to see that matchup, hey, maybe we'll make that happen. Right. But I want it to be evenly matched. Right. Before we, create those type of matchups, because I don't want it to be a gimmick.
It's funny that you say that because in the original UFC, there were no weight classes.
So
you had a 150-pound guy fighting a 250 or 300-pound guy.
Absolutely. And it wasn't great content. It wasn't great content.
T-Mac, when did T-Mac happen? I mean, obviously, you say you got a son that's playing traveling AAU ball. You played traveling AAU ball. You went to the the tourneys. I don't know if it's the ABC, the Nike, or wherever the case may be. When did T-Mac become T-Mac?
1996, summer of 1996, in Teaneck, New Jersey. I was playing spring football, Sharpe. And out of nowhere, this guy that was affiliated with Adidas came down to Polk County and said he had an opportunity for me. But within that opportunity, I had to stop playing football. Okay. So he gave me the opportunity to go and play at the Adidas camp. I knew nothing about this. This is my first camp ever. I'm in small, Arvindale, Florida, 10,000 people. I don't know what's going on outside of Central Florida. Right. I hear about Lamar Odom and these elite guys. And I'm like, let's go. I want to see where I am as a basketball player because I felt that I'm one of the best. Right. But I don't know. I've never played against talent outside of, Florida. Right. So I get to this camp, Sharpe, and I'm seeing this 6'10" point guard, man. And I'm like, oh, Lord. 6'10" where I'm at, they're going to make you the center. Correct. This dude is bringing the ball up, and he looks smooth. I'm like, ooh. So he was the first guy I faced, man. And, I had a great game against him. And then throughout that whole camp, I was just making a name for myself. There's the buzz going around like, who's this cat? This cat, Tracy McGrady from Florida. Right. And bro, here comes I made the All-Star game that weekend. And the signature to put the icing on the cake for that weekend, I was coming down on the left side and a guy was running down the middle and I didn't really see him. I was going to windmill, that was in my mind. Right. So windmill this ball. So I went up, windmill. It just so happened he jumped into me and I windmilled on him. and everybody in the stands, people running on the court. It was pandemonium in there. Right? So that's when I arrived. From that point on, I made a name for myself, and that just took place in the summer.
So you knew from that moment, okay, there's going to never be any more football. I'm Tracy McGrady. I've arrived. Okay, let me focus on this.
My life changed at that very moment. When I left that camp, I was being considered as the top prospect in our class, in 1997 class of high school basketball players. Right. When I played out my high school career, my senior year in Durham, North Carolina, and I became the #1 basketball player in America.
So you leave Florida to go to Durham, North Carolina. What kind of transition was that? Because you had said you really hadn't been outside of Central Florida. You hadn't seen a whole lot of players outside of Central Florida. So now you leave your base, which is Central Florida, and go to Durham, North Carolina. Why did you do that?
You know what, Shay? It's really just taking a leap of faith.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because I've seen so many guys come before me that was extremely talented, but they ended up becoming local heroes, right. Local celebrities, if you will.
Yeah.
Right? Uh-huh. So this was just an opportunity. I mean, this was all God's plan for somebody to discover me that I had no relationship with and give me the opportunity to go to this Adidas camp. That created the path for me, and that created confidence that I was on that right path.
Right.
So it was just a no-brainer for me to leave Florida because of the opportunity that presented itself. Right. And I could not let that pass by. And it was, obviously being a great decision on, my part and my family.
Your senior year, after you finish up your senior year, did you have any ambitions of going to play college? Oh, so you were going to go to Kentucky?
Yes, sir. I knew you was going with that. Yes, sir. Listen, I took my visit to a couple of colleges, but when I went to Kentucky and I saw how those boys was living, I said, this is where I want to go to school.
Okay.
Right. I was already a fan before I went there.
Right.
But when I took that visit, bro, and I seen how they were living up there as college students, college athletes.
Right.
I want to go to Kentucky.
What? Adidas, you go to the Adidas camp, you make a name for yourself at the Adidas camp. Adidas come in and say, okay, we got something special here. We about to break him off. What's going through your mind now?
So I'm sitting in my coach's office.
Okay.
And, he's telling me, giving me this speech. I know you love Kentucky and what they have to offer. And I know you'll do great just giving me all this. But he's like, I have an offer from Adidas. They want you really bad. And when he sat it in front of me, it's at that time, 18 years old, it's not a hard decision.
No, it's not.
What I mean? It's not a hard decision.
Coming from where we came from?
Right, from where we came from. It's like, man, forget college, bro. They just offered me 6 years, $12 million. Like, what? I can't turn that down.
Right. So you see this check like Tracy McGrady, $12 million. What's going through your mind?
Mama, we made it.
Mama, we rich. Mama, rich.
Man, look. Hey, man, look. I ain't got to be laying on the couch and hearing rat traps being popped. I ain't got to turn on the stove to warm up the house at night. Got to go get some kerosene to put on that heater. I ain't got to do none of that stuff no more. Hey, man, this is too much information for you, but, bro, I used to sit on the toilet and have to raise my feet up because we had rats running around, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, man, oh, them days is over with, bro.
So obviously your mom's not there. Was your mom with you, or did you call your mom on the phone and say, Mom, get up here, I got some great news. I want you to see this, Mama.
Nah, so my parents were still in Florida, and I was in North Carolina at the time still. Yeah, so I made the call to them, and, obviously they was overwhelmed with joy, but man, that's to me, that's what it's all about, man. That type of impact that you have on your family, and even going through my career, I wasn't fortunate enough to win a championship.
Right.
But when I look back on what I was able to do for my mother and my grandmother,
you won the championship in life.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So you get the. Let me ask you a question. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we're gonna fast forward. We come to 2021. Somebody got obviously $12 million. Kentucky is still on the table. Are you going to Kentucky with $12 million in your pocket? Because you know Kentucky is a Nike school. You can't wear Adidas at a Nike school. What you gonna do, T-Mac?
I'm going to Kentucky, bro.
You gonna take the $12 million and still go?
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen. If I can make $12 million and enjoy the college experience,
right?
Why not? Why not? I love college basketball. Right. I watch it faithfully.
Right.
I watch my Kentucky Wildcats faithfully. So yes, I would have taken that 12 and went to Kentucky for sure.
Obviously, it was a great experience to go to the NBA. But do you wish you could have enjoyed the college experience at least for just 1 year? Go to step shows, to be on the yard. I don't know. You're not gonna play it your first year, but just to be a college kid. Because when you go to the NBA, you're an adult. I don't care if you're 18. You're an adult. Because you got to get a place to stay. You got to sign a lease. You got to pay all the bills in your name. So you're no longer a kid. You're a grown ass man.
You're right. I think all that stuff that you mentioned, I don't care about that. But I think, the one thing I do miss out on is that the whole March Madness thing. Like, that experience to me is like the memory that you would love to create and be able to talk about those memories 30, 40 years from now. So for that, yes, I wish I had the opportunity to experience that. But, going to the parties and stuff like that, I mean, that really is not my thing.
When you played in the league, how much one-on-one did you play? Because the only time we get a chance to do one-on-one with DBs, I mean, it's a drill. We got one-on-one, but we just not calling somebody out there just for fun. But you get a chance, an opportunity to go one-on-one against a teammate. How often did you do that?
So, first of all, I grew up playing one-on-one basketball.
Right.
Like that was my thing. I loved it. Whether it was with my brothers making a clothes hanger into a basket, you know about that,
yeah.
Right?
We had a bicycle reel. You knocked the spokes out.
Yeah. So you know about all that. Absolutely. So we did all that in the hood, right? But when I got to the league, obviously I felt like I was, pretty talented offensively. And my teammate was Doug Christie, who was a premier defender in the NBA. So I took it upon myself to play against Doug Christie every single day, one-on-one basketball, because I know if I can figure him out and score on him, then I can score on anybody in the NBA. And with that, built my confidence as well. And that's why one-on-one to me is so important, because you could go and train 2 hours with a personal trainer, but then you go and play 5-on-5 organized basketball. You have a coach. That coach has a different philosophy and role for you that you probably see yourself. And I'm not talking about the elite players. I'm talking about the guys that, probably are really talented, but they're not the guy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they're being put in a role. So you train 2 hours, you go and play 5-on-5 organized basketball. The role might not be conducive to what your training is.
Right. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So how many opportunities are you really going to get to where you feel you're extremely confident as a ball player?
Right.
So one-on-one, to me, if you do that same 2-hour training and you're training or playing one-on-one every single day, your mental toughness is going to get better, and your physical and your skill set is going to improve immensely.
Did you call out any players? Obviously, you say you cut your teeth with Doug Christie because he was a premier defender, and you felt that if I can beat him, I feel I should be able to beat him. But did you call out some of the offensive guys? Because, you know, I'm better than you one-on-one. Bro, you're not better than me one-on-one. Stop saying that.
No, I didn't call out anybody. You know, obviously, Kobe was somebody that, you know, I considered one of the best one-on-one players. Like, he was the ceiling as far as one-on-one basketball.
Right.
And I knew, because he was older than I was, he came into the league before me. I knew I had to sharpen my skills and my one-on-one skills if I wanted to compete against him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. So he was the measuring stick.
He was the bar. Right. He was the bar. When I'm a young kid looking at Cole, I'm like, okay, he's the bar. He's who I got to come at, you know, and make a name for myself competing against him.
T-Mac, when you were growing up, were you always the first one picked? So when they're choosing up sides at the park, were you the number one overall draft pick every time?
I was, in all sports. But what's crazy is, you know, basketball is my third sport, right?
Really?
Yeah, basketball is my third sport. My first sport is baseball.
Okay.
And then I played football.
Were you a pitcher?
I played, as a kid, I played more baseball and football than I did basketball.
Wow. You said that, I read what you said, the best part about the NBA is the one-on-one. Because basically it's a lot of one-on-one. Okay, the man in front of me, I got to beat the man in front of me. And you look at some of these one-on-one players like KD and Steph and Kyrie. Right now, as you and I have this discussion, who do you believe is the best one-on-one player in the NBA?
I have to say it'll probably be KD. I don't think anybody can mess with KD at one-on-one. 7 foot, can shoot, can handle. I mean, he's so lethal offensively. But
we got to have that height. We got to have that height because Kyrie.
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say that. But when we talking one-on-one and not, if we're doing height-wise, the class, Kyrie, man.
Kyrie got a bag, man.
Oh, I'm talking about a very deep bag.
Yeah.
Very deep bag.
Yeah, he got a Santa Christmas bag. He got one of those bags. Yeah, he got one of them bags.
Hey, he got a couple sacks that he got on his back, bro. He's carrying around.
When you look at Kyrie, he got game from the 3-point to the mid-range. Have you ever seen a man his size finish at the rim with either hand, kisses, the floaters, the fall-aways? Like, have you seen anybody in your time and even now be able to finish like Kai can?
Yeah. Rod Strickland.
Wow.
Rod Strickland was one of the greatest finishers at that size that I've ever seen.
And he had handles too.
And I think that, you know what's crazy? I think that's Kyrie's godfather.
Okay.
I think there's a relationship there between those two.
Right.
But yeah, straight. Oh my God. He was one of the best at finishing around the rim and had the handles.
You mentioned KD, and when people talk about one-on-one, they say KD. The guy's 7 foot tall. He got 3-point range. He got the mid-range pull-up. He got the hezzy pull-up. He doesn't really try. He likes to like the mid-range. He don't really try to get all the way to the rim, although he can. Besides the height, obviously 7 foot tall makes you very unique. Besides the height, what makes KD so unique?
You Sharpe, Shannon, you can't leave out the height. You can't leave out the height because that's what makes him so unique. Is he's 7 foot, and to be able to shoot the ball and be efficient that way.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, think about it. This man is shooting 50-some%, and it's mostly jumpers.
It is.
Right? Like that is insane to me. So I can't leave out the height on KD because that's what makes him so unique and dynamic.
Is he the most skilled player that we've ever seen in the NBA because of the height?
The most skilled player I've ever seen is Kobe.
Okay. More than MJ?
the most skilled NBA, the most skilled basketball player I ever seen is Kobe Bean Bryant.
Talk about Kobe's bag.
Listen, man. So you got MJ, right? And Kobe took who MJ was, but enhanced the skill set. Had a better handle.
Right.
MJ didn't shoot threes like that.
No.
So Kobe took it upon and added the three ball to his game because that's where the game evolved to. But skill wise, I mean, the moves, the footwork, he had it all.
Kobe in a one-on-one battle. Do you believe anybody could beat Kobe in a one-on-one battle? Let's just say in their prime, MJ and Kobe, one-on-one. Who you taking?
I think, and I'm putting myself in there.
Oh, you okay? I would throw you in there.
I put myself in there. I think if you play 10 games, it'll be 5-5, maybe it'll be 6-4-1, but I don't think it'll be 8-2 or 7-3 or anything like that. I don't know who the toss up.
Okay, we're gonna play a series of 5. You get Kobe 5 times, you get MJ 5 times. Kobe, MJ, what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be 3-2? Is it gonna be 3-0? I mean, what is it gonna be?
Listen, I could sit here and say it'd be 3-0, 3-2. I mean, it's hypothetical. I don't know. That it'll never happen, but all I know is it'll be a damn good show. It'll be a damn good show that people will definitely want to tune into.
Well, it was trending T-Mac versus Tracy McGrady because you're one of the first big guys, slender guys, 6'7", could handle the ball, could shoot the three, pull up on the mid-range, but you got all the way to the rim. You were looking to posterize people.
Absolutely. My thing was, and I was telling my kids this weekend because we had an AAU tournament in Indiana. Right. In our first game, we played against the tallest teenager in the world. He was 7'6", kid out of Canada. I was telling my kids, because it was like, oh my gosh, he's so tall, he gonna block everything. I say, man, I would try to dunk on him if I was y'all. What are you talking about? I'm like, it couldn't be me, because I'd be trying to put him on the ground, on his back.
Right.
So, like, their mentality is totally different. So, yeah, my thing was, bro, if you're in the way, I'm going to try to go through you or over top of you.
Right. The playoffs started. Obviously, the Nets played. KD, Kyrie, are they the most skilled pair of teammates that we've ever seen?
Without a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. I haven't seen a pair, a duo that skilled. Mike and Pip.
But Pip ain't have no offensive game like that. Jordan had the offensive game.
But Pip did though. Pip did have offensive game, but Mike Mike was so great. Right. I mean, Pip did average 20 points now.
Yeah. He was the All-Star game MVP the year Mike left. He finished in the top 5 in MVP voting. But when I'm talking about, you look at how Kyrie can dance with Rocket. And you look at KD, you mentioned KD 7 foot tall, from the 3-point all the way to the rim, can do it all. Pip ain't got that have that in his bag.
No, he doesn't, but I mean, that's the only thing I can go off of though. I can't, there's no other dynamic duo that compares to KD and Kyrie. I mean, even if you look at what LeBron and D Wade was, skill-wise, they're still not touching them two boys.
Right. How far?
Even if I would have played with Grant Hill, I don't know if G Hill and myself, I think it would have been a challenge. But you got 2 6'8" guys that can handle. I can shoot. G Hill had a mid-range, post game, can pass, can see the floor.
You know what? I'm glad you brought up Grant Hill. Do you think about what it could have been had he not suffered that ankle injury, because he played on that bum ankle in Detroit. And we never, and people don't know, we were robbed of an opportunity to see Grant Hill in his true glory.
We were robbed of seeing greatness. G. Hill was such a great talent, such a cerebral player. Man, he had it all, bro. And it was just unfortunate that we never got the opportunity to play with each other consistently because of that ankle. And I know deep down in my heart, if he was healthy, I would have competed for a championship. My years in Orlando.
Wow. Ben Simmons, how much will he help the Nets? Because we know Kyrie and KD gonna be KD and Kyrie. We know what they're gonna. But what does Simmons add to the recipe?
Simmons add an element to their team that they're missing right now, and that's defensively.
Right. That
kid can guard 1 through 5, and with him being out so long, he could come in right now and have an impact on their team because he can play defense. He doesn't have to shoot the ball because he has 2 killers on there that's going to do all the scoring for them, along with some of the other guys that they have, the Seth Curry, the Patty Mills that can shoot. But the impact that he can have on guarding, whoever the other team's best players, whether he's a guard, whether he's a power forward, it doesn't matter. Put Ben Simmons on him, he would neutralize that, and it'll make them a much better defensive team. That's what they're missing.
You do realize I'm bringing help off Ben Simmons. Whoever's guarding Ben Simmons, if Kyrie gets the ball, go double. If KD gets the ball, I won't get the ball in Ben Simmons' hands.
Listen what you're saying, though.
Yes.
You are going to double off of Ben Simmons.
Yep.
Right? And help on a Kyrie.
Yep.
Or KD.
Yes.
So that means you're going to leave Ben Simmons, who is a very smart basketball player who could pass the ball.
Yes.
And leave KD in a one-on-one situation. If you're going to double Kyrie, that is not a smart thing to do.
But here's the thing that we know. We saw what Atlanta did to Ben Simmons. Or is he where he needs to be mentally? I know what he can be, but I saw what he was last year at the end where he became unplayable because of the free throws and he being afraid to shoot the basketball, T-Mac.
That's fair. That's fair because we don't know. I mean, the kid has been out all season. We don't know where he is mentally. I'm hoping with him being out for so long, when he does step foot on the court, that he's healthy mentally and ready to go because he has a lot to prove.
Right.
He really does. And I think, he's going to do that because I actually like his game. Last year, we don't know what was going on with the kid off the court. Something was bothering him because I've never seen him play that way.
Right. How did you like that situation? Because I felt it was unfair. I mean, what Doc said, and then Joel Embiid said that, the game turned on, we had a layup, and we end up missing a free throw. And I felt there was no coming back from that, T-Mac. Once he uttered that, I remember coming on the show the next morning, I say, they're not coming back from this. Ben Simmons is going to ask for a trade. And sure enough.
Yeah, he was thrown under the bus. It was just an unfortunate situation that, they looked at him on that particular play, and then it really just gave fuel to the media.
Right.
And they ran with that. And like you said, there was no coming back. In Philadelphia, Philly.
Yeah.
once some Philly fans is on you.
Yeah.
And when that series was over, I said to my friends and family, I said, Ben Simmons cannot go back to Philadelphia.
Nope.
It is not a good look. They got to trade that young man and get him out of there because it's not going to be a good look for him if he was to start that season. Because they was going to boo him and it was going to get ugly. And it was really, really going to be mentally tough for him to be engaged and, competing at a high level for that organization.
Well, they trade James Harden. He leaves Brooklyn. He goes to Philly. Philly trades Ben Simmons. How far do you think James Harden and Joel Embiid can go?
I actually think that was a bad trade.
Wow.
I think it was a bad trade. I think Brooklyn won that trade. I I think Joel was in such a groove, and that team was in such a groove. Yeah. Now, James Harden is a dynamic scorer and a playmaker, no doubt about that. But it seems like to me he's slowing down.
Right.
He can't really get by his defender no more.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's hurting, but he doesn't look the same to me. I just thought they had such great chemistry before the trade to where Joel finally got in great shape to where he could finish out games and take over games.
Right.
He's surrounded by a guy like Seth Curry who could shoot. I think the missing element out of that team is Tobias Harris. Like if you're going to give him $100 and something million, bro, you got to elevate your game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why we got to trade? Why we got to go and get a guy like James Harden where we paying you $100 million?
Yeah, you're a max player.
Right. You're a max player. Like, fill that role for us. Because our big man is doing his job. We have shooting.
Right.
You're the $100 million player.
Who's your MVP this season?
That's tough.
Because you got Joel Embiid that did what he did, led the league in scoring, the first big to do that since Shaq in 2000. You got Nikola Jokic. He's the first man in history to get 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists. You got Giannis. Giannis was Giannis, 30, 12, and 5. You got Devin Booker. He was the best player on the best team. Where your MVP?
I got to go with Joker. I gotta go with Joker, man. That dude, he's something special, man. He is something special, bro. The man can't jump over $1 bill, but man, the passing, the rebounding, what he brings to that team. He doesn't have Michael Porter Jr. or Jamal Murray.
Correct. And
those boys are still winning. They're in the sixth seed. I have to credit him. But Joel Embiid, the way he came out the gates, can it be a co-MVP?
No.
My goodness.
I don't know if it's, I don't think it. We've had co-rookies of the year with Jason Kidd and Grant Hill, but I don't think they've ever been co-MVPs.
Well, this year they have to make an exception because it needs to be one this year because those two boys right there, they did their thing this year, man. I wish both of them would get credited, and I hate that. I got to choose one and leave the other. I would go with Joker.
And somebody getting left off first team All NBA too because they play the same position. Somebody getting left out.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You look at LeBron.
Yes,
you won 2 scoring titles. LeBron James was in position to win a scoring title. Do you fault him for not going for it, or do you believe he should have gone for it?
No. For what? No. LeBron has so many accomplishments on his resume. He doesn't need to chase that. That's beneath him, really. And his team missing the playoffs. What am I playing for? I don't need to play for a scoring title. Not at all.
Are you surprised?
LeBron doesn't play for that.
Right. And because he says, well, I don't play for stats. I don't chase stats. I try to play the game the right way. Well, that would have been the wrong way because to try to win the scoring title, that means you're going to have to get a lot of shots. And you're probably not going to pass. You're going to become what you're not, which is he's a pass first guy that can score. And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to score first now. I'll pass later.
Yeah, no, you know what? This year, I really love watching LeBron play. Now, I'm a fan of Bron's. It's a phenomenal player, but it was just something about his game this year to where I said, damn, man, if what I'm seeing out of dude and some of the moves that he was making this year, if he had developed that earlier in his career, man, look at here, bro. He was already scary, but damn, to add some more into his bag, because it's crazy that this man his bag has gotten deeper in year 19.
That's what's so amazing. I don't think people give enough credit. He's in year 19 with all those miles on all those minutes and miles on those legs, and he gave you 30 in year 19 at 37 when he gave you 30 at 21, the youngest and the oldest. How impressive is that?
I salute, dude. We all should be appreciative of watching dude play, man. we're all gonna miss him. You know, I played against MJ, but I was sad when he left. But man, I'm gonna be sad when Bron goes because I just love watching dude play. He's so fun to watch. You know, whether it's scoring, his passing, just how he creates an environment around his team that it just looks fun to be a part of.
Right.
Like this year, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, what happened this year? What happened with the Lakers? Why didn't it work?
Because you got old players, bro. That you went out and got these old guys that if they would have made it to the playoffs, I think they would have been a problem.
Right.
Because that's what they were built for. But you can't go and get these older guys and think, you know, they're going to play 30-something minutes for 82 game seats and think they're going to hold up. Defensively is where they struggle.
Because
they can't guard nobody.
It's one thing if you got defensive guys that used to play defense, and it's hard because Trevor Ariza couldn't sit in the chair anymore. Avery Bradley can have spurts, but he can't do it. But when you get 37-year-old Carmelo and you get these guys that they've never played defense, and now you're asking them to do something they've never done, and they're older.
Yeah, you put guys in a situation that they had to garnish a lot of minutes and be consistent at doing something that they really wasn't good at.
Right.
When they was in their prime. And now that they're older, you ask these guys to do, that's not going to work.
Right. What advice, if you could have given Russ some advice, what advice would you have given him? How to help? Because, you know, it seemed like he was very confrontational with the media. They asked him a question and he's like, well, what did you see? Well, tell me what I should have done. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like I just felt that he didn't accept accountability for some of the things that were going on. I'm not saying he's the sole blame of why the Lakers underperformed, but he didn't look, maybe he did. Maybe that's Russ. Maybe we had a magnifying glass on him because he's playing with the Lakers. Maybe because there's more expectations where there's no expectations in OKC, Houston, and Washington.
Well, I think with Russ, I think a lot of what happened to him this year in terms of like the negative publicity and the negative write-ups about him, I think he contributed to that.
Yes.
And I think when he was going through his bad spells of playing, I think he should have just kept his head down and, you know, just said the right thing. Just really talk about, you know, put onus on itself. Right. I'm not playing well right now. I'm in the gym working on my shot. I'm talking to LeBron, trying to figure this thing out. I'm working hard every day to try to get out of this. You know, I want to come up out of this. I mean, you playing for the Lakers. Yes, you're on the biggest, platform every single night. And you playing with LeBron on top of that. So everything is magnified. But I think when you're on the defensive side and then you say that you don't have any expectations when you're playing for the Lakers. Now you opened up a whole can of something that you don't want. And I think he just should have been, you know, saying that he was working on his game to get better, to come out of the phone, talking to LeBron and doing whatever he could to get back on track. If he was to take that role, I think, you know, a lot of that negative press would have been suppressed.
Yeah, you can't say you don't have expectations when you play with the Lakers. When you look at the lineage that they got from Mikan to Wilt to Kareem to Magic, Worthy, Shaq, Kobe, Baylor, they got 17 titles. That's all Lakers Nation know is expectations, is titles.
Yeah, but listen, man, I think a lot of that stuff on Russ was unfair as well. You know, we talking about a dude that averaged a triple-double for 3 straight years. Like, this dude is a future Hall of Famer. Like, he didn't have a good year, but he's been in the league, 15 years or something like that? Mm-hmm. Like, come on, man, we can't do him like that.
T-Mac, you played. You know you got to update your resume. That's what you got to do in sports now. Now, what you did 2 years ago, how is that triple-double helping the Lakers right now?
Listen, I get that. I didn't think it was a match for that team anyway.
No.
When they made the trade, I didn't think it was a good match.
Right.
I don't know what they were thinking. I just felt like Russ has to have his own team. He has to have the ball in his hands.
Thank you. But you watch, he could go to a team like Orlando where they have no expectations and the eyes are not going to be on him on a nightly basis, and he'll average a triple-double.
Yeah, average triple-double, and he'll take that team to the playoffs.
Yes, absolutely. But because when you look, you're like, hold on, man, Russ had 10 assists. Man, he had 9 turnovers. Look, man, Russ, you inefficient, bro. You shooting 30. You got to stop shooting threes, Russ. You shooting 28%.
But you got to understand who Russ is a strong-willed, strong-minded type dude that he wants to prove. Like when people are saying stuff about him, I sense that he's a guy that wants to and prove everybody wrong.
Right.
And he just kept forcing the issue.
Right.
And it never really turned for him.
LeBron said of the current players he would like to play with most is Steph Curry. T-Mac, when he was playing, who would be the one player you would want to play with?
This trick question? Shaq.
Shaq.
I mean, really? Shaq. I mean, who else?
Yeah, well, you're right. You know what? I thought you might say, man, you know what? It'd have been nice to play with Cole.
Man, Shaq, bro. That is the number one choice. Always. Yes, it would have been nice to play with Cole. But come on, man. Shaq was so dominant, bro.
So, yeah, you know what? I never got a chance to see Shaq play in person. Explain to our viewers and listeners at home, when Shaq got the ball on the block, what was it like?
Hey, good luck, y'all. Hey, hold your ground. Man, look, Shaq, and I forgot who said this. Somebody said, I think KG said this, Shaq was raised right, because Shaq could have punished, and he did punish people, but I'm talking about even on a whole nother level, to where I think Shaq could have averaged 35 and 40 points a game. Like, that's how dominant I think Shaq could have been if he was like really nasty and, just if he wanted to do that. He didn't have to because of, what he had surrounded him, but he was, this dude was strong. He had big hands, strong hands. I remember I learned my lesson playing against Shaq, because when we played against him, obviously we had to double team him. So I was one of the guys that will go down and try to double team when he has the ball, and we'll go a double team on the bounce.
Right.
So I went one time and tried to double team Shaq, but he was in a shooting motion coming up, and I tried to knock down the ball out of his hand. And, bro, I about broke my wrist. I said, never again will I ever try to do that. You know how guys, when they had a ball like at their waist-side and you try to knock it down? Right. I tried that, man, and about broke my wrist trying to do that. That dude about took me up out of here, and he still scored and won.
People don't realize, Mac, people don't realize how big and how agile people are like, man, look at Joel Embiid, but you got to realize Shaq was probably 20 pounds heavier than Joel, and I believe he was more athletic. Shaq could literally run really, really fast. Shaq could really, really run. Not just for a basketball player, but for a football player. Shaq's size, 7'1", 330, 335, and can move like he could.
Shannon, and he could do a backflip back in his day. Come on, man. 7'1", 330, and can do a backflip?
Man. Eventually, you mentioned it, LeBron's going to be gone. KD's going to leave. Steph's going to move away. Who's going to be the face of the NBA in the next 10 years? I'm going to give you Ja, Luka, Trae Young, LaMelo Ball.
I think it'll be between LaMelo Ball and Ja. If LaMelo Ball can get to La La Land, because I think he's built for that.
Yes.
Like, he has that personality, that moxie. Like, he's built for that. I think he can be that face. But Ja Morant, if he continues to do what he's doing right now in Memphis, he also can be that face.
Man, I need you to explain to me how Luka does what he does. You talk about Joker can't jump over a dollar bill. Luka can't jump over a dime.
But I'm gonna tell you, Shay, it's all skill, bro. That's what a lot of guys lack. These kids nowadays rely on athleticism. They can run fast. They can jump high, right? They can blow by somebody and just explode over them. But if you blow out your knee and you're not as quick, you're not as fast, you're not as explosive, what are you falling back on?
Right.
See, Luka is not going to have that problem. He's so skilled. He's a big body. He know how to use his body. He got the ball on the string. He's a smart basketball player. He's a great facilitator, and he can shoot. Like, you can't speed somebody up that plays at their own pace. Right. And that's why he's so great. He plays at his own pace. He's going to get to his spots and do what he wants to do.
Who you like in the NBA Finals? Who you like the teams, Western Conference, Eastern Conference, and who you got winning?
So, beginning of the season, I had Golden State winning it all. But I don't know about Steph. It's in his injury. So my decision has shifted. I'm going with a rematch of last year's NBA Finals, and I think the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win it again.
Talk about, why is it that you don't feel Giannis gets the credit that he deserves? Because when I said when Shaq was being as dominant as he was, nobody said Shaq can't shoot the three, Shaq can't shoot the mid-range. They said Shaq is dominant. Giannis is as dominant. But they're like, oh man, he ain't no Embiid, he ain't no KD.
Yeah, but you got to understand, Shaq, these guys, it's like, because I don't know if you talked about this on your show. Like, somebody asked me, I think I was on Shaq's podcast, and they was talking about, can Giannis play back in, our era where the defense was really tight and, the paint was closed up. And I say he would struggle, because if you look at when he had some of those playoff series against Toronto, where they were just clogging the paint on him and he couldn't get downhill on the team, that's what I was referring to. I'm not talking about Giannis now can play in any era, because he's developed his shot.
Correct.
He's confident now.
Yes.
Right? So he's not, it was like, well, Shaq, because I was like, he can't really, he's not a consistent shooter. And I was like, you go back in our era, guys that were stars and superstars were consistent shooters, the KGs. And it was like, well, Shaq and Tim Duncan. I was like, but those guys play with their back to the basket. That's not Giannis's game.
Correct.
Giannis comes downhill.
Correct.
So if back then, if you're not surrounded by all those shooters, and it's upon you to score the ball, who you passing to? Because we didn't have that type of spread offense that they have.
Yeah,
today's game.
You didn't have Steph and Clay on the same team that could space the floor.
So he would have struggled, right? But in today's game, it's tailor-made for him, because he's surrounded by shooters all on the court. So the paint is open for him to come downhill. Now he's developed the back to the back basket. I see him do the turnaround now.
Right.
Now he's shooting the three ball a little bit more. So he's I don't know why he's not getting that attention. Maybe it's because he's in the small market like Milwaukee, but he's a force. He's a force.
How many points would T-Mac average in today's game with the floor space like it is right now?
Well, I averaged 32 in a tough defensive era, so I'm go ahead and probably put about 8 more points on there.
You believe you can get 40 a night?
Man, look, I think 1 year I probably could have averaged 40 in today's game, because I only shot 6 threes a game, Shay.
Right.
I only shot 5 or 6 threes a game. That number probably would have doubled.
Oh yeah, you'd been at 10
in today's game, and I wasn't going to settle just for threes. I was a guy that got to the free throw line as well.
Right.
So I probably put another 6 to 8 points on there.
And the thing is different about today's game. They let a guy get hot and they won't even get the ball out of his hand. They'll just let him keep cooking. Man, back in the day, you're not going to keep cooking me. They're going to get that ball at your hand.
Yeah, but, I mean, when a guy's hot, man, it ain't nothing you can do. I'm shooting over double teams. Come on. I'm waiting on you.
Well, you see, you remember, I think it was Memphis. Might have been Memphis or OKC when Book had back-to-back. He had 2 50-point games. He had 48. They started doubling him in the backcourt. They're like, nah, you're going to give it up. We're not going to let you get 350s in a row.
That's the way to do it. If you're going to double somebody that's hot, yeah, you better double it in the backcourt because you do it in the front court. I'm in my shooting range.
Right.
You're too late.
How good would the Magic would have been had you stayed with Dwight? Could you have challenged for a title? Could you have possibly won a title, you and Dwight?
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, Dwight played for a title.
Yes.
So, absolutely, yeah.
I don't think people realize how good Orlando Dwight was.
Dwight Howard was a force to be reckoned with. Athleticism off the charts. I mean, you're talking about having an impact on the game as a guy, somebody that averaged 30 points. He has that type of impact on the defensive end.
Right.
Like, that's what he was. Controlling the offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, blocking shots, running like a gazelle. I mean, he was phenomenal, man, for those 8 years in Orlando.
Do you feel you were snubbed on the top 75?
I do, yeah. Yeah. But, I mean, I didn't go in my closet and cry and wanted to, call out the people. Nah, I'm a Hall of Famer, Shay.
Right. You can't get hey, that's a very select company.
Yes. Very select.
You were in San Antonio, I think that was your last year. You were so close to that title. T-Mac, you had it. You were 20 seconds away. As you're sitting on the bench, you're like, okay, we got this one. We got this one. Just make a couple of free throws. They got to foul us. We're going to be good. As you're sitting on the bench, what's going through your mind?
Shay, let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You played your career in Denver.
Yep.
Right? And you retired from Denver.
Yeah.
You enjoying life off season. Somebody calls you up. Hey, man, we got a tight end. He's hurt. Can you come in and give us a body? Sure, why not?
Right.
Now, it might be a coach that you have the utmost respect for.
Right.
Right. But when you come back, that tight end is healthy. You ain't really getting no burn.
Right.
Y'all make a run for the Super Bowl.
Right.
You don't really play like that.
Right.
Y'all win the Super Bowl. Do you feel like you was a part of that?
Nah.
We competitive, bro.
Yeah.
We competitive. Come on.
You're right. You're right.
We competitive,
That's
bro.
what Matt Barnes said. Matt Barnes said he felt like that when he was with the Warriors. Like, yeah, we won the ring, but I ain't do nothing.
If you can't contribute to the battles,
right,
I don't feel a part of that. It was a great experience because I've never been that deep in the playoffs, and to go through, that run with them, oh man, it was amazing. I love every bit of it. But in terms of if we would have won the ring, it
wouldn't have felt the same.
I wouldn't have felt validated as the champion. Right.
Obviously, you leave Toronto, you get a max deal as a sixth man. I don't know how many max players got a max deal as a sixth. How the hell you pull that off?
Hey, let's just say that was good representation.
So obviously, you're making the rounds. What are some of the players? Some of the big name players. Obviously, you go to Orlando and then you end up at Houston. So what are some of the pitches that they're telling you? Okay, T-Mac, you come here, but this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to be.
So Pat Riley sends the private plane for me in Orlando, flies me to Miami. I meet up with Zoe, and Zoe takes me out back. We hop on some jet skis. I'm like, bro, where are we going? We get on jet skis and ride the jet skis to Pat Riley's house. So, I'm at Pat Riley's house chilling. He do his own thing, set the rings out and all of that. Hell of a pitch.
Right.
And, so I went on that visit, enjoy every bit of that. Go to Chicago. I stepped foot off the plane, walked through the terminal. When I first stepped through the terminal, I see Benny the Bull,
Right.
and I see the cheerleaders. Like, they got a whole parade for me in the airport. I'm like, oh, Lord. Get to the hotel, sitting in my room. They pop in a tape. Oprah send me a personal message. I'm like, oh, boy. Oprah's talking to me. I go to the freaking Cubs game, singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." I'm in the dugout with Ernie Banks. I throw out the first pitch, sitting in the stands. They got airplane flying over with advertising talking about me. I'm like, oh, my Lord. Like, they rolled out the red carpet for me. But with all that, they were competing against Orlando, which is home. And from a kid, that was my dream, to put on that Magic uniform.
Right.
And that's the reason why I left Toronto. That's why I didn't sign with the Bulls. That's why I didn't sign with Miami Heat.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. You enjoyed the sell pitches, but you just like, oh man, I do the private jet, I do the jet skis, but I ain't coming here. I'm going to Orlando.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna soak it up. I remember all this. I'm creating memories, but I'm going to Orlando.
Who was your toughest guard, and who do you felt guarded you the best?
Of course, it was Kobe. I mean, I think he was one of the toughest guys, but that's obvious. I'll give you some of the guys that you probably wouldn't think of. There's two guys that was tough to guard offensively. That was Cuttino Mobley, and that was Jamal Mashburn. Like, them two dudes was a problem to guard.
Wow.
Well, number one, Cuttino, because they call him Cat for a reason.
Right.
Right? They call him Cat for a reason. And he could shoot the ball. Just tough, wiry, strong left-handed type player. Mashburn's 6'8", know how to use his body. Don't have the athleticism, but can shoot. Couldn't really block his shot like that, and just know how to use his body, man. And he had a bag. So he was one of the toughest. And somebody to guard me, Artest was pretty tough. I love the challenge with him. And I can't give nobody else that credit.
You got the record. You scored 13 points in 33 seconds. What's going through your mind? Okay, the first shot goes in, the first 2 points go in. Do you think, you know what, we got a chance? I mean, if I could just because it's never been done before. So did you think that you guys realistically had a chance to win this game?
I thought we had a chance to win the game. Based off of what I've done before, of coming close to doing something like that, yes. I felt like we had a chance.
13 points in 33 seconds?
I felt like we had a chance. I did.
I'm going to get you out of here on this one. The 2000 Super Team, the 2000s, you got Allen Iverson, Kobe, McGrady, Duncan, Shaq versus Steph, Kyrie, LeBron, KD, and Giannis. Who win in that?
They're too small. They're too small. They're too small.
Man, Tim Duncan and Shaq gonna have a field day.
They're too small.
Who guard? I want to know who guard. I guess we could put Giannis on Shaq. KD, you got Tim Duncan. Yeah, they too small.
Who's Steph gonna guard?
I don't know.
Who's Kyrie gonna guard?
Kyrie.
They're too small, Jay.
You and Kobe and AI, ain't nobody guarding nobody.
They're too small, Jay. They're too small.
Looking back in your career, is there anything you wish you could have done differently, or your career would have played out differently? What are one thing or two things you would change if you could?
Nothing. It happened the way it's supposed to happen. Right.
Right.
I went through it. I did everything that I possibly can do every time I suited up, and the results is what they were.
Right.
So it is what it is. To me, I had an unbelievable career.
Right.
And my post career is going to be even better. So I wouldn't change anything.
Are you upset that you didn't win a championship? Do you believe the perception of Tracy McGrady would change had you won a championship? Not the one in San Antonio. If you had been a contributing factor, like in Orlando or like in Houston, do you believe the perception of Tracy McGrady, the player, would have changed?
I think people's, I don't know. I think people would call me a champion.
Right.
You know, I think that would be embedded in people's mind. But Shay, I get a lot of love out here, bro. I'm respected wherever I go. The
guys in the league know. Players know players. And I already know they give you the love because you don't score 32 by being a slouch.
Right. No, you don't. And what's crazy is when you hear, he didn't have a work ethic. Like, so you meant to tell me somebody that doesn't work can accomplish all the things that I accomplished in my career? Like that's what you're saying? You're saying this league is that easy that I don't have to work that hard to accomplish that?
Nah. You might get away with something like that in high school, but because you're probably the most talented player on the court. But when you get to the NFL or you get to the MLB or you get to the NBA, where everybody is equally as talented, there got to be something to set you apart.
And you got to set yourself apart by how your mental and your physical and how you prepare yourself every night. It's hard to score 32 points every night for 82 games. You kidding me?
Well, I want to congratulate you on the OBL. Best of luck with that in its inaugural season. And bruh, I appreciate you giving me a little bit of your time today.
Hey, thank you, Shay. Appreciate you, brother.
Best of luck, man.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice. That's why all my life, I've been grinding all my life.